Have you ever noticed, people, that the acronym for recording in process is the same for when you die? Just saying. Hi, everybody. You're going to be seeing this after it happens. Thank you so much for watching it, everybody. You know me, I'm Linda Marcus Smith, your girl who is Meshuggah or isn't Meshuggah. Anyway, I interview way too many people because I'm half Jewish and I really like to suffer. So right now we have one of them great comedians. This gal is popping. If you don't believe me, go to her website. She's all over the country. She's done, oh my gosh, she has performed all over the country and is available for corporate events, charity events, clean comedy hosting, MC festivals, and podcasts like this. So grab her while you can afford her because she's on the rise, you guys. Welcome to the stage, one of my local favorites. OMG, I love to watch her. Mary Upchurch.
Thank you so much, Linda. That was a really nice intro. You're one of my local favorites.
Oh, wow. I love that. Can I get it in writing?
Yeah, sure.
So tell people like what you like about where in general that you live, because we have stalkers. I mean, we're hot.
I do have a couple now, yeah. What I like about where I live?
Like Vegas,
Yeah.
yeah.
Linda, I moved to Vegas a little over a year ago, and I really like it. I'm having a good time. And I was never a Vegas person. I only came here like a few times. But when I started doing comedy, like I really enjoyed it from a comedic perspective. I like the scene. I like the people. Everybody's like working really hard and trying really hard. So it's just a nice environment to be around. And there's a lot of people I can learn from. And that's one of my favorite things is I can get advice and kind of listen to, some of the big time people talk and kind of pick up things.
No, I love that. It's like a free education around here.
Yeah.
I love it. So, you had mentioned that you moved here from another state, and I want to hear about your childhood, like who
Oh.
you were as a kid, how funny, when did funny enter your life, who liked you,
Oh.
teachers that helped you along the, why you got into, tell me your whole life
You
story.
want the whole story?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll see what I can do here. I am originally from San Diego, and I moved around a little bit because my dad was in the military. But when he retired, we ended up and stayed, in San Diego, which we're from Southern California. But as a kid, I feel like I've always been really goofy. I've always loved really fun, weird characters. Big fan of like Pee-wee's Playhouse was one of my favorites. I loved like You Can't Do That on Television and some of those other like shows for kids. And I feel like that's where it all kind of started. I'm the youngest of six, so I think I was always trying to get attention and, you know, um, just kind of be the center of everything. And I've always wanted to do stand-up comedy, and I wanted to so bad that I didn't do it. I was afraid, I was nervous. And I think it was around 2013 I started doing improv with a local to Arizona improv troupe. And I really enjoyed that for a few years. And then I was like, if I'm going to put all this time and effort into something, I think I'd rather it be stand up. So I started taking classes, and it kind of all went from there. Um, but yeah, as a kid, I just felt like I was really unaware. Um, and I'm trying to think about that moment where you kind of stop being a kid. And it was somewhere around like early junior high, because I just felt like I was like the dummy who didn't realize, I was supposed to have, cute clothes and this bag and this accessory. And I feel like I've wasted a lot of time, trying to figure that out. Even as an adult in my late 40s now, it's like, oh, do I have the right accessories? Do I have? So I was always on the outside looking in is how I felt. But generally a happy kid and with two nice parents. So I feel very lucky for that.
I get it. I mean, I'm from the 50s, so when I heard Papa Color, I thought that meant your boyfriend beat you up.
Oh, no.
You got a bruise. They have color
That's
in
terrible.
and the colors.
That's awful.
I know. I'd never say it on stage. I'd make people cry. Anyway, back to you. So then you started stand up. Tell me about your first experiences getting on stage.
Well, the class that I took, it was with Tony Visich in Tempe, Arizona. It's comedy schools, and I love it, and I recommend it all the time. Part of the class was that you get a showcase, and that's all I wanted was to have a showcase or something that I can invite my friends, my family, my coworkers to come see me perform. So I was like really nervous. And I still get really nervous, but it
Really?
was so fun. Yeah, yeah. If I'm not nervous, something's wrong.
Something's wrong with me.
Yeah. So then from there, people asked me to do their shows, like a little local show, a bar show here and there, and it started with like 5 minutes, and it just kind of grew from there. Which is really fun to reflect on because sometimes you still feel that like that little scared little bunny, but you just got to do it, and then put one foot in front of the other, and then one thing leads to another, and that's kind of what's led me here.
Well, you're really on the rise. You got a dry bar special. You are headlining around the country. You're an anomaly. You're making it in the biz. So leave us some tips on insider secrets of how to make people want to book you and how to get rebooked. Or like there's got to be things you're doing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own path. I want to hear what your path is.
Well, thank you. And thanks for saying that, because you never really feel like you're making it or you're doing well. But it is important to take stock and say, oh, like, yes, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. I worked really hard for that. And I'm still trying to get to X, Y, and Z or A, B, and C. So I think as an artist, you're never really satisfied or you never really think that you're doing that great. So, you got to stop and reflect a little bit. Um, I think there's some universal advice for stand-ups, and I think that's um, a couple of things. One, be funny and be nice. Those are probably the two requirements if you want to work, if you want to get booked, is be respectful, be kind, be professional, right? But then you also have to be funny, and you can't have one without the other. Like they all go hand in hand. But I think those are some really basic things. And then the other thing that 100 stand-ups will tell you is you got to write and then get on stage. So practice and write as much as you can. And I think there's two more components. Again, it has to be in equal parts, but write, perform, practice, and network or an admin. Some one of the two of those are combined. I can't remember. So, like when I say that, it means like you got to do a little networking. You have to let people know who you are and ask for things, and then also one part that's really fun, but it doesn't. I say the admin work. So you have to send your emails, work on your merch, work on your website, but you can't let that take up all of your time because that can feel really good. Like, oh, I just made this business card. I just updated my website. But if you don't have any jokes, then it doesn't matter. So I think it's really important to just balance writing, performing, networking, and your admin work and do a quarter of that each day, or part of that each day, and you'll be successful. It's like anything, and the best example I have is like is having nice teeth. You don't get good teeth by brushing and flossing the day before you go to the dentist. It happens by every day doing the things to take care of your teeth. So you're brushing, you're flossing, and whatever. So you do that consistently over time, and then you're going to have the smile that you want. And I think the same is with comedy. It's just do the things every day and you'll start to see like upticks in activity.
Yes.
So,
What would you say in comedy is your greatest strength and what's your greatest non-strength?
I don't know. I think they probably go hand in hand, but it's probably just the ability to keep going. So it's not when you win or lose; it's how you act when you win and you lose, and how you respond. So I think some of the best opportunities or growth I've had is when I've been rejected because then I'm like, oh man, I'll show them, or, it's kind of like the fire to say, okay, well, what do I need to do? I love coming up with a plan and then executing that plan. Um, so I think that's a strength. And probably one of my biggest opportunities is, or or challenge is consistently writing. I need to take my own advice and just like write more, and I don't know. I wish I would take more risks, like on stage. I wish I would try out new jokes more often, but sometimes it's scary. You got a big audience. You need to perform. You need to produce. So sometimes you go with the hits.
Yes, absolutely. So when I watch your comedy, if I may, I'll tell you what I see. I
Oh
see,
no.
it's so great. Every time you go up, I know you're going to destroy. And I notice I do. And every time you go up, you bring so much positivity and energy to the room. You
Okay.
say out loud, I'm so happy to be here. This is amazing, and you mean it. And the people just love that because you mean it.
Oh, thanks. I am happy to be there. I am really excited. I'm not like my comedy's not all positive, or it might be like, I mean, you should kind of punch up, I think that way, but it's not. I just want people to feel good. So, like, I'm happy to be around people. That's where I get my energy from. So, yeah, that's nice. I think that's a good, that might be my superpower.
I don't usually enjoy anybody talking about how they look other than
Right.
make a joke and move on, right? But I will listen to you for an hour talk about your looks. You make it so interesting and funny.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and that's the thing is I'm not I I think I talk about my experience, more than anything. And it's unique, for me, it's unique to me. And I just again want people to feel good and I like to be silly. So yeah.
I pretty much know your jokes that are your hits, and I can't wait for you to say them again and see how this
Oh,
audience is going to respond. It's like fresh. You make it relatable to every single group of people. And
that's
it
so
just
nice. That's nice to hear. And sometimes we get in our heads about doing the same jokes, but honestly, like I have to remind myself, I'm doing these jokes for the people in the seats, the people who bought tickets. They haven't seen them before. Sure, the comics have, but am I performing for the comics? Technically, no. But internally, you want to please your friends, you want your peers to like approve of you. So it's a constant fight. But I think ultimately, as a comic, we should try to serve our audience first.
yes. One of the things that I do at an open mic, because it's comics judging comics, and I get so tired of that. I do. So for every joke, I have multiple punchlines. So they're
Mm.
sitting back there thinking, oh, not this joke again, but I got a whole different punchline.
Well, there's the famous quote, other people's opinion of me is none of my business. So, I guess we're constantly judging. That's fine. I'm there to practice a new joke, to get some stage time. I love the other comics, and I'm just going to assume the best because I can't get stuck in thinking what people are thinking.
That's really good to hear. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So you're going to be performing all over the country. I looked at your website, maryupchurchcomedy.com, right?
Yeah.
You have things cooking around the country. I mean, you're going to go to Tennessee. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember them all.
Yeah, I've got a few things. I mean, I'm not a full-time comedian. I have a day job. So I balance comedy and my day job and all of that. So when I'm lucky enough to get booked out of town, I love if I can plan it well in advance. So I'm going to Chattanooga in August. I've got a few dates in Phoenix and Sacramento coming up. I just announced a show in Utah this September, which I'm excited to go to. So we'll see. I've applied for a few festivals, and I think festivals are a great way to meet lots of people, to network. So we'll see if I get in, but if not, we'll keep trying. We'll do something else.
Absolutely. What's in the future for Mary Upchurch?
Oh my gosh.
Like 5-year goal, life goal, bucket list. What is it, Mary?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. Um, I love a vision board. I love writing on vision boards. I'm hoping to record a special this year. We originally had it in May, and we put it off a little bit because of the venue. But recording a special and having that be received pretty well when it comes out. I'd like to just do more clubs, festivals. I would love to perform in more theaters. I got a taste of that recently, opening for someone in a theater, and it's so fun. And then maybe even start working with like an agent to do a cruise or colleges. But again, always balancing that with my day job. So until I can't anymore, and then maybe I don't know, maybe we'll get to a full-time comedy. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
really enjoy having money, so.
Hilarious. Hilarious and true. So, okay, so let's say you just found out that, hmm, what is it you have to accomplish before you get to 73 and kick the bucket like me?
Oh, before 73.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I feel like it's not that far away. Really, I think it's just being happy. I want to travel more. I want to find a great, I mean, if it doesn't happen, fine, but I would love to find a great partner, and maybe get married. um, I think comedy, I'm putting all of my effort and time and money into comedy. So I feel like that's going the way it's gonna go. Um, but I would like to yeah, travel, fall in love, uh, do more comedy, do a theater, um, and just be happy.
Yes, absolutely. So, of any comedian who has passed on to the other side, wherever that is, who was your favorite of those who have passed?
Oh, like old school comedians.
Yes.
This is a really good question, also. And people always ask me, like, who are your favorite comedians? Um, Hold on. Um, I mean, dead comedians.
I don't see you like Joan Rivers.
Oh, I love Joan Rivers.
Do
Actually,
you?
thank you. Of course, I love Joan Rivers. Um, I was never one who I didn't study stand up. I didn't listen to albums when I was a kid. Everybody kind of has that story. I really was big into TV. But I do like the classics. I like Joan Rivers, Richard Pryor, and but I remember in the 80s kind of watching it a little bit with my parents, and those kind of acts really, I guess I didn't realize, because all of them turned into actors, turned into hosts, and I didn't realize that so many people had this, the stand-up background. I didn't know that that was the background for all of my favorite stars, even Roseanne, and then all of those folks. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm picturing them all in my brain, but I'm like, have I listened to their albums? Like, no. But I definitely appreciate the path that was paved, especially by the female comedians who had a lot harder. So
When I first started, I wanted to be just like Wendy Liebman and Rita Rudner. So I was
I love Wendy Liebman.
I was copying their style and their persona. It wasn't working for me. And then I had to just be me. But did
Yeah.
you, when you first started off, did you try to act like certain people you'd seen?
Yeah, well, first of all, by the way, I love Wendy Liebman, and I remember growing up watching her. I saw her at the airport in Burbank once, right before the pandemic, and I was like, "Wait, I know that's Wendy Liebman." And I'm so dumb, I didn't say hi to her. I should have. But we do follow each other on Instagram, so I can't. I want to work with her one day, but she is one of my favorites. And the stuff kind of the posts she did over the pandemic, I thought were so soothing and just delightful, and I adore her. But when I first started, and I remember the showcase that was my class showcase, I remember going I'm gonna wear these jeans and this gray shirt and just be cool, because all my favorite girl comedians were just cool like that, like Angela Johnson, um, and I liked Amy Schumer, Chelsea Handler. And I love Sarah Tiana. And they were just chill, they were cute, but they, like when you would see them at a regular stand-up show, they didn't like get super dressed up or anything. And I did that for a little while, but then I started going, oh, I have all these dresses in my closet. So I would, and I still do, like I would buy dresses and I'm like, oh, this would be so cute on a date that I didn't have. And then I was like, this would be a good opportunity to wear this dress that's been in my closet. And then I just really felt like myself. Like I love wearing a cute dress. And by the way, that's even evolved because I don't even know if, I mean, I still wear dresses on stage, but it's changed. But so early on, I just started wearing my dresses, and that was me being me. And then sometimes I feel like people might think, I don't know, I still wish I could like kind of be cool and like I don't care, wear jeans, but I don't look great in jeans, like so I just need to wear what I feel most comfortable in, what I feel happy in. But I think audiences respond. They're like, oh, it's nice. Somebody dressed up for this. So that was kind of so long way to answer that question.
I love it.
I started out trying to be real apathetic or look like that, but the truth is I'm not. I care a lot. I want you to like me. I want to look nice. I'm not going to hide it or pretend I don't. That's me.
I love that. That's a great trajectory. Well, what would you like to say to young comedians and virgin audiences that are coming to watch comedy for the first time? Anything you want to say to those two groups?
I mean, they're two very separate groups. I mean, new comedy audiences just sit back, relax, and have a good time. You don't need to help. And it's probably not like what you've seen on the internet, but just relax and have fun. New comics, you know, just do the work. A lot of times a new comic will be like, hey, can we meet? Can you help me? And it's like, I, I mean, I'm happy to help somebody, but also, can I really help you? I can't do anything for you. And nobody really can. Just go write and be funny. And if you are, things will come to you. It will happen, and then be nice, be respectful. Um, the words show some respect have been just tattooed in my mind lately because I feel like that's the answer to almost anything. Just show some MFN respect, and you would be so surprised about how, and that means show up on time. Like if you have a gig, show up on time. Greet people, let them know who you are, be polite. It's all basic stuff. And I feel like you can go a long way if you just show some effing respect.
Yes. I've interviewed a lot of comedians, and a lot of the ones that have been doing comedy for 30, 40, 50 years have one thing that they all say in common. They get no respect for the amount of work they put into this. They get treated wherever they go. Nobody cares who they are. Nobody cares how many times they've done comedy for the troops or done comedy around the world. There's no respect.
I mean, yeah, well, see, then that's the other side of the coin. I think sometimes as a comedian, you have to stay humble, I guess. And it sucks especially if you've been working a long time, you kind of just would like, it'd be nice to get some respect. But you're right. Like sometimes you can't, but then sometimes you do. There's some clubs out there who treat comics really well. The clubs that like comp your meal, let you bring a guest, let you have free tickets, give you a place to stay. But if you go looking for it, you're probably not gonna find it. So it's kind of like you just gotta chill. And if you're funny and you know what you're doing, you're fine.
I love it. The Mary Upchurch simplistic way of life, which is why she's so happy and energetic and why everybody loves her. This is who she is.
Well, I wouldn't say everybody, Linda.
Okay, minus one.
I'm just kidding. Myself.
Tell people the next few performances and any socials you want out there.
Well, I'm going on vacation, so
To
I
Hawaii.
think it's much needed. I am going to Hawaii. I'm very excited. It's much needed, and I need to just chill out. But when I return, I'm going to be actually headlining Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club with Tricks on the 27th. And then I believe I'm headed to, oh, I can't remember anything. All I'm thinking about is
LA
vacation.
Comedy Club, July 8 to 14.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. You can find me that whole week featuring at the LA Comedy Club at the Strut, Buck's Tavern. So yeah, check out my website. MaryUpchurchComedy.com or Mary Upchurch Comedy on Instagram.
Yes. In case you folks cannot tell, I am a fan of Mary Upchurch, and you will be too. If you didn't listen to the beginning of this, listen to the whole thing, send it out to friends. Everybody, minus one, needs to love Mary Upchurch. Thank
I'm a
you,
fan of
Mary.
Lynna Marcus Smith. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll get it out there everywhere. You'll see, you'll get 1 or 2 new followers.
I hope so.
Guaranteed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, Mary.
Bye.
Bye.